Okay, so thermodynamics. So this word has been taken from two words, therm and dynamics. Okay, so therm means heat, dynamics means power. Okay, so in thermodynamics, we learn about the study of the effects of the work, heat, and energy on the system. Okay, so thermodynamics is only concerned with macroscopic changes in the observations. So there are two kinds of systems. So first, I let you know that what is a system. Then I will tell you what is the meaning of macroscopic and a microscopic. Okay. So basically, thermodynamics is related with these quantities: work, heat, and energy on a system. Okay. So whatever interaction is there between system and surroundings in terms of work, heat, and energy, we will learn that in thermodynamics. So thermodynamic system of quantity of fixed mass under investigation. Okay. So first of all, you must know what is a system. So system is any part of the universe that is under investigation. Okay, under investigation means the whatever you are studying, whatever you are analyzing. For example, if you have a cylinder of gas, you are analyzing their uh, pressure of the cylinder, temperature of the cylinder, inside gas inside the cylinder, uh, means pressure of the gas inside the cylinder and the volume of the cylinder. Whatever you are observing inside, that is your system. The system is any part of the universe that is under investigation. Okay, so this is system. So you can put heat into the system, you can get heat out of the system, and you can do work on the system, and you can take work out of the system. Okay, so these are all features of the system. And surrounding, this whole is surrounding, this whole is surrounding, this whole is surrounding. Okay, means anything out of the system that is external to the system, okay, that is known as surroundings. So definition of surrounding is everything that is external to the system. For example, anything that is out of the gas cylinder, there is a environment that is known as surroundings. Okay, so there is also boundary of the system. This is boundary of the system. This is surrounding a boundary of the system. So these are the uh, definitions of surroundings, system, boundary, and a universe. The combination of system and a surrounding is known as universe. So if you combine system and a surrounding, that will give you a universe. Okay. Okay. So systems can be also classified. There are different kinds of systems. Some systems can allow energy as well as mass. Some systems can only allow energy but not mass. Some systems are isolated, that do not allow energy or mass. So there are three kinds of system. One is open system. Okay, in open system, mass and energy both can be exchanged between system and the surrounding. So system and the surrounding, this is for example system, SYS system, and a surrounding. So energy and mass can be exchanged between them. Okay, such systems are known as open systems. Okay? Such as evaporation of water. Okay? So in evaporation, mass is also transferred in out of the system, and energy can be also transported out of the system through steam. Or if you place any piston on that liquid, that can be also transferred through by that system. Okay? And a closed system, there is also closed system. In closed system, only energy can be transferred, but mass not mass. Okay, so these systems are not open, means no mass is goes out of the system, only energy can be transferred. Okay, such as closed, in closed cylinder, if you place a gas and you heat it, and you place a piston on that piston is moved by the energy, only energy do work on that piston, but mass cannot be transferred out of the system because uh, cylinder is closed from all sides. Okay? Isolated system, in isolated system, energy nor mass can be transferred between the system. Okay, neither energy nor mass can be transferred between the system and the surrounding. Okay, so now you can see the simple definition: closed system, controlled mass. Okay, a fixed amount of mass. A closed system is fixed amount of mass. No mass can cross the its boundary, or there is no mass enters or leaves the system, such as piston cylinder device. Okay, so this device, in this device that I gave you already example, that piston in the cylinder device means gas is closed, so there is their system is known as closed system, means only energy can be transferred through cylinder, but mass cannot be transferred. Okay, and another system is an open system. Open system, or a control volume, is a properly selected region in space. Both mass and the energy can cross the boundary of the control volume. Okay, a water heater. Okay, if you heat a water, okay, so there is a steam that flows out of the system, and as well as mass flows out of the system. Closed system and open system. In open system, you can see a turbine and a compressor. These are open systems. Okay, so in these systems, your mass and energy can flow out of the system. Okay, there are two properties of the systems. Okay, so we are just studying the system, analyzing the system. So there are two properties. One is intensive property, okay, of the system, those properties which are independent of the size of the system. Okay, so means these properties does not depend on size of the system. Okay, such as temperature. Temperature does not depend on the size of the system. Okay, so it can be, if for example, for 10 degree Celsius can be of huge system, or it can be of small system. Okay, so 10 degree Celsius of a large system and a 10 degree of small system, it does not depend on size of that system. Okay. And the pressure also. So pressure is also does not depend on system. If you have hydrogen gas in small container, it can have the same pressure as a large cylinder. Okay, so both can have same pressure because pressure does not depend on the system, size of the system, and the concentration also, and the density. You can see that a small amount of liquid can have same density, or if you take a large volume of that water or any liquid, it will have also same density. So it means it does not depend on size of the system. If you increase the size of system, it means it will not change that property. So there are extrinsic properties of the system, those properties which depend on size of the system. Okay, some of these properties of the system's component depend on the size of the system, such as volume. Okay, so it means if you increase volume of a system, okay, its size will increase. Okay, our area, number of moles, mass. If you place a large number of mass, it will increase its size of the system. So if you place more number of kilograms in a place, so system size will increase. Okay, and internal energy, if you increase the number of atoms, so it will increase the internal energy. So internal energy also depend on the size of the system. Okay, enthalpy, these all quantities depend on size of the system. If you increase these values of these things, so size of the system also increases. Okay, and all thermodynamics can be expressed in terms of four quantities. Okay, these are four quantities which can be defined whole thermodynamics. One is temperature, okay, internal energy U, entropy, and heat. We will define all these terms. Okay, two important interactions between the system and the surroundings. Heat can cross into the system and work can cross out of the system. Okay, if you have a system, this is system for example. Okay, if you have a piston here, piston is movable, means it can move up and down. Okay, if you have a gas here in this system, this is our system. Okay, so if you give heat, it is, for example, this its bottom is conducting and you give heat to it, so you can transfer heat. Q means heat. You can transfer heat into the system. Okay, so if you put heat into the system, it will do some work on this surroundings. Okay, on the piston, so piston will move up, it will move a distance. If it will come to this at this, because heat and the work in the heat is the energy, form of energy, and work is also means to transfer energy. So heat can do work, energy, any energy can do work. If you provide heat to the system, so it can do work on the surroundings. Okay, so if you provide heat to any system, it will do some work on surroundings. Okay, so that's the way heat can cross into the system and the work can cross out of the system. Okay, so this is these are two important interactions between the system and the surrounding. So it is surrounding is environment and a gas inside the cylinder is system. Okay. So thermodynamics provides a framework of relating the macroscopic properties of the system to one another. So there are two properties of system, means two states. One is microscopic state of the system, and other is macroscopic state of the system. Okay, so consider the difference between microscopic state and a macroscopic. Okay, there is a difference between microscopic and a macroscopic. When you are individually measuring velocities of atoms, position of the atoms, molecules, that is known as macroscopic state of the system. Means position of the gas molecule inside a container, that is at microscopic level, means subatomic level. When you are studying analyzing a system at microscopic level, means you are analyzing position, velocity of the particles as individual. But when you are analyzing a system at macroscopic level, there is pressure, temperature, okay, volume. So these values can have a definite value when they are in macroscopic term. These are macroscopic. It means bulk level. So this is macroscopic. So these are two ways to analyze the system. Either you analyze at the microscopic level or you analyze at the macroscopic level. Means at uh, uh, is a whole system. If you analyze it a whole system, there is macroscopic is a whole. Okay, but if you analyze at atomic level, there is known as microscopic system. Okay, so thermodynamics provides a framework of relating a macroscopic properties of the system to one another. Okay, so in thermodynamics we will learn about the macroscopic properties such as pressure, temperature, volume, entropy. It is a whole system level. Okay, so change where system is there are in general the process, two kinds of processes. Okay, in the thermodynamics, some process can be reversed back into the original state and some process cannot be reversed back into the original state. Okay, so reversible change where system is always in thermal equilibrium, that is known as reversible process. So what is thermal equilibrium? Thermal equilibrium means the state of thermodynamic system where thermodynamic system does not change with time, means it is all values remain same, is temperature, pressure. So all these values can have a definite value. This that state is known as thermal equilibrium. Okay, so reversible process, in reversible process system is always in thermal equilibrium. Okay, so when you For example, you have a gas, and if you have it has volume, it has certain temperature, it has certain energy. So these values will not change with time. Okay, these values will remain same. So we will say that that system is in equilibrium. Okay? And irreversible process, in irreversible process, system is not always in thermal equilibrium. So in irreversible process, you cannot bring the system back into the same state by changing necessary conditions. Okay. So in irreversible process, such as free expansion, okay, melting of ice in warmer water, frictional heating, okay, these are examples of irreversible process. Means these process cannot be brought into same original state. Okay, once they are come into another state, they cannot be brought into back into original state. That's known as uh, irreversible process. Okay, so after that we will learn about the zeroth law. Okay, so we will learn about the zeroth law now. Okay, so its volume becomes V2, pressure becomes P2, and the temperature becomes T2, for example. Now it is the second state of the system. It is first state, initial state, and it is second state. Okay, so these quantities show the state of the system. Okay, so when these quantities thermodynamic variables, these are also known as thermodynamic variables, does not change with time. They are fixed. They have a non-fluctuating value. Then system will be set into thermal equilibrium state. Okay, now we are going to learn about third law.
सर
Zeroth law. Yes,
नॉन फ्लक्चुएट वैल्यू ये क्यों कह रहा है सर?
non-fluctuating means the values does not change with time. Means if state is here, this is value of the final state, this is second equilibrium state, this is first equilibrium state. So a system can be combination of multiple thermal equilibrium states, but at one time it will have one single equilibrium state. Means at this point it has this equilibrium state v1 p1 t1. Means these values are non-fluctuating, these values do not change with time, but if you provide heat, then this system will come eventually into second equilibrium state, that is v2 p2 t2. Okay, okay. So zeroth law Our first topic is this zeroth law of thermodynamics. So if you have two systems, okay, this is system A and this is system B, okay, and there is a third system, that is C. Okay, these are thermodynamic systems. So if two system, for example, A system is in thermal equilibrium with C system. This is thermal equilibrium. Okay? And thermal equilibrium uh, means no heat flows between the system. Means both have same temperature. So thermal equilibrium, in other meaning, for example, if a system has this has 20 Celsius and other system has 30 Celsius temperature, and we place both system to each other, then after certain time it will both system will have temperature equal temperature. That will be, for example, 27. Okay, so when two systems brought to each other, for example, this system which has 20 Celsius and which has 30 Celsius, both systems are brought to each other, then their combined temperature is 27. तो उनका जो combined temperature है that is 27 temperature है, ठीक है. तो अब ये जो दोनों systems हैं, ठीक है, अब इनके क्योंकि हीट फ्लो होती है जिसका हाई टेम्परेचर हो उससे लो टेम्परेचर की तरफ, तो हीट जो फ्लो होगी 30 से 20 वाले ऑब्जेक्ट के पास हीट ट्रांसफर होगी, ठीक है. इवेंचुअली क्या होगा, दोनों जो होंगे ऑब्जेक्ट्स एक थर्मल इक्विलिब्रियम में आ जाएंगे, मतलब हीट फर्दर फ्लो नहीं होगी आपस में. अगर ये आइसोलेटेड सिस्टम है, इसका मतलब है कि हीट बाहर फ्लो नहीं हो रही, सिस्टम के अंदर ही है, ठीक है. एनर्जी ट्रांसफर जो हो रही है इन दो सिस्टम्स के दरमियान हो रही है, इनके इनसे बाहर जो है एनर्जी वो ट्रांसफर नहीं हो रही, ठीक है. तो ये जो दो सिस्टम है इनका जो टेम्परेचर, फॉर एग्जांपल एक इक्विलिब्रियम, ये हम इसे कहेंगे थर्मल इक्विलिब्रियम, ठीक है. मतलब इन दोनों का टेम्परेचर क्या है, सेम है, ठीक है. जैसे मैकेनिकल इक्विलिब्रियम होता है या कोई भी इक्विलिब्रियम आप लें, ठीक है, तो इक्विलिब्रियम के टाइप्स होते हैं, ठीक है. तो ये आपके यहाँ पे कौन सा इक्विलिब्रियम है, thermal equilibrium. For example, A system is in thermal equilibrium with C separately, and a B system is in equilibrium with C separately. So this is also in equilibrium with C in thermal equilibrium. Okay. So if A is in the equilibrium with C and a B is in equilibrium with C, it means that A is also in equilibrium with B. Okay. So if A, that is the statement of zeroth law. Okay. So what is the statement of zeroth law? Zeroth law says that when you have two systems separately in equilibrium with the third system, that is C system, then these two systems are in equilibrium with each other. Okay. So this gives the concept of temperature. So all have one property that is same. These all three systems have one property that is constant. That property is known as temperature. So temperature, this third law, this zeroth law gives concept of temperature. Okay, so temperature means degree of hardness. So it is degree of hardness, means to degree at which an object is hard. Okay, so temperature is a property of the system. Okay, so that property you can measure that property when you bring another system in contact with the other system. Okay, for example, we have two systems. Okay, and we bring another system with this. So if it has certain temperature and it has, for example, first zero temperature, but when it will be brought into in thermal contact with this object, for example, this is B, this is A, then temperature of this will be same as temperature of this, because heat will be transferred in between these two objects. As a result, this will have same temperature as B. So thermometer is also based on that principle. So when thermometer is put into the mouth of any sick person, so heat is transferred from the sick person to the thermometer. As a result, the temperature of thermometer and a person comes into thermal equilibrium, and it can measure the temperature of a person. Okay, so thermal equilibrium, that is whole about the thermal equilibrium. So temperature can be measured through thermometer. So in thermometer, we measure properties of certain substances. These give us temperature of that object. Means, for example, we have three kinds of thermometric systems. Okay. Systems. So you can measure temperature by measuring a thermometric property of a object. Thermometric properties. Okay. So what is thermometric property? It is a property. By measuring this property, you can measure temperature. Okay. By measuring those properties which change with temperature. Those properties that change with temperature. Okay. So for example, volume of a fixed gas, if you put a volume, fix a volume in a container and a increased temperature, so if you increase temperature, so you know that at fixed temperature, pressure and the volume are directly proportional to each other. pressure and temperature directly proportional to each other at fixed volume. Okay? So if you increase pressure, temperature will be increased. Okay, so by keeping volume fixed, you can increase. If you increase temperature, you increase the pressure. So pressure is a thermometric property. So what is here thermometric property? Pressure, because you can measure temperature by measuring pressure. So if you measure pressure, because pressure varies with temperature. Okay, so if you measure pressure, this is thermometric property. Means you can use this property in thermometer to measure the temperature. So this is a thermometric property. Okay, so by this property you can measure temperature. So the thermometer which measures temperature by measuring pressure is known as constant volume gas thermometer. Okay? So gas constant volume gas thermometer. Okay, so that thermometer measures pressure, is a thermometric property to measure the temperature. Okay, and as this type of thermometer is known as type 1 thermometer. Okay, so this is known as type 1 thermometer. Okay, in second type thermometer you can also measure, for example, you have a wire of platinum. This is second type thermometer. Okay, type 2 thermometer. Okay, so in type 2 thermometer, if you have length of platinum wire, platinum is a metal. Okay, so if you have platinum metal length of wire, this is for example wire or any rod, if you give it heat, increase temperature of this platinum length, temperature. So if you increase temperature of this platinum rod length, fixed length, so it will increase its resistance. Okay. So now resistance is a thermometric property. Okay. So because this property is changing with temperature, so resistance is changing with temperature, means the property that changes with temperature, that is known as thermometric property. Okay, so resistance is changing because if you pass current through this I and you increase its temperature, so if you will increase its temperature, so less amount of current will pass through it because resistance will increase. So resistance will increase means you can measure that resistance, and that resistance will give you temperature. Okay, so through resistance you can find the temperature. Okay, so that kind of temperature, that kind of uh, property, thermometric property, that kind of thermometer is known as type 2 thermometer. Okay, and a third type of thermometer, that is yeah, that is mercury in glass capillary. So mercury in glass capillary. Okay, so when you put a mercury column inside any glass, okay, so there is a glass, this is glass for example, and you put mercury inside that glass. So this is mercury column, that is known as Hg, is a symbol of mercury. So you put mercury inside the glass and you increase the temperature. That is usually used in clinical thermometers. Okay, so if you increase the temperature, means you will increase the length of mercury column. Okay, so here the property that changes with temperature, you increase the temperature, length of the mercury increases. So if length of the mercury column means it reaches at certain point, first it was at this point, so this length increase, okay, tells the temperature. As you increase more and more temperature, more and more mercury length increases. So that is the thermometric property in mercury thermometer. Okay. So in type 3, length of the mercury column is thermometric property. Okay. All these properties, these thermometric properties vary uniformly. That must be means the property of the material. Okay. So these all properties, thermometric properties varies uniformly with temperature. Uniformly with temperature. Okay, so they must vary with temperature uniformly. Means, for example, it should not happen that if 20 Celsius, it's 20 Celsius, length of mercury column is 4 millimeter, and at 40 Celsius, it should be 10 millimeter. So this should not happen. This is not uniformly increase in length. Uniformly increase in length means it should also increase 8 millimeter. Means same length should be increased at 40 Celsius. Okay. So we say that these all properties vary uniformly with the thermometric properties. So temperature varies with uniformly with the property. For example, if we measure X property of the thermometer, that must be directly proportional to X property of the thermometric substance. So we can write for any thermometer Tx equal to any constant. For example, here constant we use any constant and X. This is formula for measuring any thermometric properties. We measure temperature against thermometric properties. For example, in first type thermometer, type 1 thermometer, temperature is measured through pressure. So here property is pressure. So temperature is directly proportional to pressure. So here X is a property. Okay. So X, the property that we are measuring is pressure. So temperature is measured against pressure. Okay. Or you can write it as a temp. Let we have any constant, there is a constant, we give it name as a there is pressure. Okay. And for type 2 thermometer, you can write resistance is a property, that is PR, that is directly proportional to resistance of the wire. So this can be written as PR is equal to any constant B into R. Okay. And for type 3 thermometer, we measure mercury length. So we can say that temperature directly proportional to length of mercury column Hg. So it can be written as T equal to C L Hg. So here length is a thermometric property.